At the time of recording this, I've got 105 subscribers, and I want to very sincerely thank each and every one of you for being here. You guys are my crew. I know I'm a hard sell as a creator. I upload once every 3 months, and my content is mediocre at best. But still, when I show up, no matter what I'm doing, you guys show up and are so supportive. People who I barely talk to otherwise, but you still never miss an upload, I see you, and I want to thank you so much. You're the people that I want to keep creating for. It's late right now, but I want to have a little heart-to-heart with you guys. I want to talk about why it takes me so long to upload. I mean, at this point, probably a fair amount of you know that I'm sick half my life, which does make being productive difficult, but I want to talk to you about the other reason. We all know art block. We've all experienced it, we've all talked about it, we've all seen other people talk about it nonstop on Twitter. It's a thing. A very real, frustrating thing. No matter what you want to make, you put your pen to paper, your fingers to the keys, and nothing happens. The ink might as well be stuck in the pen because you are just not creating today. It's not happening. No matter how badly you want to make something, you're stuck. Usually, from what I've seen, people will think of art block as caused by external things in a person's life. If you're stressed, depressed, sick, tired, or just generally not taking care of yourself, you're not going to work at your best. If your working environment is chaotic, if you're stuck in the same routine, if your mind is somewhere else, you're just gonna have a hard time. That's okay, that's how creating works. You're not always going to be able to give it your all the time. It's okay to step away and fix yourself. What I've been working through is something slightly different. I sit down to work on making a video every day. I sit at it and I work for hours. I have a goal, I know what I'm working towards. I just put on some good music and let time pass while I'm scratching up my intuos. But then, hours later, I'll sit back and look at what I've done, and what have I done? It feels like I've made no progress. There are a few more frames here, some new edits there, but nothing really substantial. I feel no closer to being finished than I did when I started today. To make things worse, what I have done, I'm not happy with. I just don't enjoy what I've made. I look at the whole thing together, and it's not good. It's just not. I can't put this out there. This is gonna disappoint everyone. But I also can't not put something out there. I could redo it, even though I've already spent days fixing up some other sections that I didn't like before, and I'm already unsatisfied with that too. I could start over, but then what have I been doing the last week? Was that just wasted time? Can I afford to add another week to this project? I've suddenly gone from not having uploaded in 3 weeks to not having uploaded in a month. But I can't just go on doing the same thing I've been doing. It's not a good representation of my abilities. I know I can do better. This is an idea I love. I can't just put it out there half-baked. But at the same time, what if someone else gets there first? Then I'll have missed the opportunity entirely. It's really hard being a young, beginning creator. Are you going to imitate the people who are doing it right, the ones who got you to start doing this in the first place? Or are you going to try to forge your own path? You could get noticed for being different, sure, but also you have no idea what the final product is even supposed to look like. You're trying something new. What if it sucks? What if it was a bad idea? What if it has been done before exactly and you didn't even know? After all this runs through my head, when I sit down to work again, I have no idea what to do. Every attempt at making something feels like I'm just uselessly spinning my wheels in the sand. Stick to my guns and finish what I've started, or go back and bring everything up to my new standards. Either option feels like I'll be wasting my time, letting the world pass me by little by little. I'm scared. The more time I let go by, the lower and lower my chances of ever being someone get, and yet I just can't seem to make myself move. I'm paralyzed. This is a little different than run-of-the-mill art block. This is all caused by being too in my own head, and yet I'm not sure how to stop. Forcing myself to work isn't accomplishing anything, and yet stepping away is only going to let more time go by. There are so many things I want to do. This may sound a bit full of myself, and I know I am, but I really feel like I have so much potential. I have so many ideas for things that I want to do, and ways that I'd use success for good, but I just can't make myself actually do it. It's not a lack of motivation. I want to create more than anything. It's a lack of nerve. I've psyched myself out. I'm too scared to try. Since I started making videos on this channel over a year ago now, I've had content planned out months in advance. Schedules never ever worked out, usually because between what I do to myself and getting sick, I'm too slow to ever come close to sticking to the timetable I've planned. But the plans do exist. They change fairly often. I'll get new ideas, new interests, I'll gain confidence in one thing, lose confidence in another, but there is always a plan. I go through these phases of being scared and then working up the nerve to try something pretty much every time I take on a new project, but this last time was the worst it's ever been. And then I got really sick for a little less than a week. I barely had the energy to stay awake, much less spend hours drawing the same thing over and over and then edit. I was forced to take a step back, and I realized what a mess I was in. It was like being in quicksand. The more I struggled to get out, the worse things became. It wasn't until I had to relax that things got better. I realized that what I was doing was absolutely not working. A creative career could not be built on this foundation. For the first time in the history of me doing this, my plan fell apart completely. I had placed everything on a bet that a new way of doing things I had attempted would pan out, and it just didn't. The old way I was doing things wasn't working either. I can't go back, and I can't go forward the way I envisioned. For the first time ever, I can't see how to get where I want to go anymore. Even the end goal has become more ambiguous. This complete collapse of my artistic system has made me question everything from if I really want to do what I'm doing to why I started this channel in the first place. It's really frustrating having all this drive but nowhere to go, but I've realized a few things that I feel are important for you guys to know. I don't want to be a storytime channel. I don't dislike making storytime videos, and I don't want to stop making them altogether, but I don't want that to be all of my content. I don't even want it to be most of my content. In that same vein, really, I don't want this to be any type of channel. I just want this channel to be me, whatever that happens to be. If I have a story to tell, I'll tell it. Otherwise, I don't want to force it. So, going forward, I'm just going to make what I want to make when I want to make it. I'm going to try not to plan things into infinity or do things I'm not passionate about at the time because I think it's going to get me views or work well with YouTube's algorithm. I'm just going to make what makes me happy, whatever that is. It might not be animation, it might not even be strictly art related. As for the video that triggered this whole collapse, like I said earlier, I love the idea. I don't want to give up on it. But I also don't want to motivate myself with the fear that someone else is going to beat me to it. So for now, it's on hiatus. Sorry to everyone I've been teasing with it for the past few weeks. I know this whole video probably sounded really melodramatic, and I don't mean to come off that way. My whole world isn't crashing down around me because I don't know what YouTube video to make. But this is really important to me, like I know it is to a lot of you, so I hope you understand. And as for what's coming next, I don't know. Really, I don't. I've got a lot of ideas, so I guess we'll see what I'm feeling first when I'm done making this video that you're watching right now. I'm gonna try to make this take as little time as possible. People really seem to want to define themselves, to put a definitive label on who they are and what they're doing. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's really smart from a business perspective. It makes sense. But I'm curious to see what happens if you don't do that, if you just leave yourself completely open. So, whatever comes next, I hope you'll be here for it. I love y'all. Peace.